Disclaimer.
What's the worst thing you can say in an elevator full of people? True story, my mom and dad were in a crowded elevator while my mom was very obviously pregnant to the point of bursting. I guess she looks at my dad and says, "When are you going to tell your wife about me?" My parents are happily married, she was just pranking him. My dad said it was the longest elevator ride of his life. My mom, sister, and I went on a vacation. While in the elevator, my sister joked, "The reason we brought you here was to break the news you're adopted." The man in front of us turned around and said, "And I'm your real father." The doors opened and he walked out. It was the best timing and absolutely hilarious. I was shopping at the grocery store and a guy was with his wife or girlfriend. She picked something off the shelf and said, "I like these balls better." Her boyfriend or husband giggled at it, and she said, "Oh gosh, you're gross, is that the kind of stuff all guys think about?" I turned around and said, "Yep." Another guy in the aisle turned around and said, "Yeah, pretty much." A third guy agreed, as well. She threw her hands up and stormed off laughing, and we all gave each other the nod of approval. My stepdaughter has bright red hair and I have black hair. Standing in line for a movie when an older couple come over and the woman says to her, "Oh, now where did you get that beautiful hair?" while reaching out for it. Now my stepdaughter hates it, when strangers touch her hair, and it happens way too damn often. I turn to my wife and snap, "Yeah, and wife's name, where the hell did she get that hair?" My wife just responds, "Oh, for fuck's sake, this again? I told you it runs in my family." We continue to fake bicker a few more seconds until the mortified couple joined another line. Reminds me of that tweet where a guy brings his wife to a work event for the first time. Colleague comes up and says, "Oh, you must be the wife." And she goes, "You have a wife? Surrogate pregnancy here." Stranger congratulates my husband, who responds, "Thanks. It's not mine. We live in a very small town." Now trying to explain sounds like I'm telling an elaborate lie. "Thanks, dude." Pretending to talk on a phone, "Well, the doctor will let me know as soon as the test results are back if it's tuberculosis." "What do you mean I get to name the illness?" "Well, I guess I could call it super contagious anal fungus, but that's not a very catchy name." How about elevator syndrome in honor of where I first caught it? This reminds me of the woman who was running around with tuberculosis and refused to go to a doctor a few months back. I think she was in Oregon. It's actually still happening in Tacoma, Washington. She's refused to get treatment so far. In Arizona, if someone refuses treatment for tuberculosis, they can be jailed and forced to get treatment. It is the same for Washington. I'm sorry, I have to do this. Fart's the most atrocious gas that levels the likes of Hiroshima. My grandpa farted in an elevator with a priest once, and it was so bad it made the priest use the Lord's name in vain. Absolute legend. At the risk of turning this into a worst fart stories thread, my friend once stank out an entire train carriage. People at the far end were covering their faces, a baby started crying, my eyes were watering. Absolute scenes. If that priest was exposed to something like that in an elevator, he was probably saying his last rites. On my 8th grade trip to Columbia County, I let out the most silent but deadly defining fart I had ever experienced in my life on our fully enclosed bus with most of my class riding on it. I thought it was over until someone at the front of the bus looked up and yelled, "Hey ya, who shat themselves?" At this point I pretended to be asleep, but I couldn't contain the smile on my face and gave it away. You should have said, "He who smelt it, dealt it." I would not mind an entire thread of worst fart stories. For some reason, they are just too hilarious not to cackle at. In an elevator full of people, the worst thing you can say is this: "Before we start, does anyone want to get out?" We got you surrounded, Rogers. Whispers, Hail Hydra. Don't say anything at all, but take the whole trip standing at the door, facing in. Look at everyone with a big smile, to make them feel safe. I'm watching Smile while reading this, can confirm everyone would feel extra safe with this. Oh, definitely. You have to smile as wide as possible, and don't blink the whole ride to make everyone feel extra safe. Or if you're the first one on, just be facing the wall. Now that's fucking funny. I bet you're wondering why I've gathered you here this evening. I love that half the comments are all about farting and the other half are all homicidal maniac one-liners. Perfectly balanced. These comments are killing me. I haven't laughed like this at a post for a while. Made my evening. Has anyone seen the movie Devil, where people get stuck in an elevator? And someone goes on a killing spree? Saying the floor numbers out loud. And as you start going up or down, say the numbers with increasing excitement. I would actually like being in an elevator with someone who did this. I love getting excited about the things we take for granted. Elevators are amazing inventions, and it really is cool to get lifted higher and higher. Get it wrong and say, no, I have to start over. Nobody leave. We have to go back and start over. Stand in the corner facing away from everyone, bang your head against the wall and say, no, I won't do it, no, not again. But these people seem like the good kind. Don't make me do it. I am sure these are all nice people. Don't make me do it. Reminds me of a friend I grew up with. We'd be traveling and she'd get her kicks at whatever hotel we'd stayed at by sitting in the corner of the elevator holding her knees and rocking herself, waiting for the doors to open. We must have the same fucking friend. If you grew up in Lake Tahoe, then we definitely did. Are you a fish? Oh my god, you can't just ask someone if they are a fish only because they live in a lake. Yeah, lots of mammals can live in a lake, such as beavers, otters, dolphins, and my friend from Lake Tahoe. That was good for me. How was it for all of you? I vouch that this is the worst. They'd spend the next weeks questioning themselves about what you meant. Wearing an earbud or Bluetooth earpiece and saying the target is in the elevator right now. My friend and I did this in our teens. Slicked back hair. Suits. Briefcases. Sunglasses. The whole thing. We had rehearsed our lines, a back and forth between agents. Do you have the package kinda stuff? But no. As soon as someone got on, one of us started laughing, the other started cackling, then we were both laughing so hard it turned into maniacal laughter. By the time the poor old guy got off, he desperately pressing the next floor and door open button. I vouch this is even more unsettling. You get in an elevator and two dressed up businessmen just start cackling uncontrollably till you get off. Elevators always remind me of my first victim. Gotta go. Big sigh, never mind, too late. I've always been a fan of This Body Is Weak, I Must Find a New Host. I think I know this one because I did it and it went over very, very poorly. We got stuck in a packed elevator in about 100 degrees heat. After 30 minutes and a panic attack by someone in the back I couldn't see, I said, so, I guess we should decide who we're eating first? Real fucking awkward for the next hour until the fire department got us out. Me and my friend used to tease each other. Once we were in an elevator and I asked, do you still have lice? We were left alone right after the next stop. Act like you're talking on your phone and scratching like crazy. Calm down, I said, scabies not rabies. You can smile and stare at the wall. Relax, Dave, everything gonna be alright. They don't know anything, they can't hear your thoughts. Only you can see them, Dave, they're no threat to them. Hold your phone to your ear and say, it was working okay with just the one old cable, but now I think there's too much weight for it. Don't panic, I have a bomb. No, don't panic, I don't have a bomb, make everyone terrified. Oh God, I'm ready, mother. I'm ready. I say this because I heard a hobo yell this on a CTA bus when I lived in Chicago and it was very, very unsettling. Mumbling to yourself hushed but audibly. Bullshit, grumble. 100% mortality rate, my ass. Extremely communicable, grumble. I want a fifth opinion. Lousy know-nothing quacks. Grumble. It's good to know I'm not going to die alone. You guys remind me of the day I died in this elevator. They did a fantastic job at cleaning this elevator, you can't even tell someone got murdered here. Then silence. Quiet but deadly. Look at everyone in turn, then exhale quietly, so quietly that everyone is alarmed. And then suddenly start looking for something in your pockets and muttering under your breath, hell, I won't have time, they will all scatter now. You can also watch other videos by going to the channel. I will be pleased if you like them.